It's live improv from New York City. Oh, New York City and also around the country. Got great people for you tonight. I have great people for you tonight. And I would like to introduce them. I would like to introduce you to JodyLee, who we just call JL. And also Steve. Your smiling face. I love her, Steve. There's Barry, everybody. There's Barry. Wait, there's Barry. I don't even know where to point to find Barry. But he's over there. Oh, speaking of the angelic face, Beth Ann is gracing us with her presence this evening. Thank you for coming and do the show. Last and never least, personal friend of mine and fabulous improviser, Dawn is here. Oh, ow, you poked me in the eye right through my glasses. And I am your host, Scotty Watson. So normally at this time, we start to do improv. But you see, there's so much going on in the world. And we really feel like we need to share our opinion of what's going on, because nothing's more powerful than the opinion of a bunch of comics. And to do that, we've set up our own news program. Now, our news program is going to go live at 11 p.m. tonight. But right now, we would like to tell you about a little bit about the stories that we are working on for the 11 o'clock news. So I'm going to pass it over to JL, who's going to tell us a fascinating story about magic mushrooms that have started sprouting all over Arizona.
Thank you, Scotty. JodyLee Duek here. And oh my God, the sizes of these mushrooms. I mean, I have seen people, it's also been raining a lot in Arizona. I have seen people sitting on these mushrooms and floating down the street. It's unbelievable. But anyway, more about that at 11. Right now, I'd like to send you over to Steve, who is on location at the Great Tomato Hornworm Invasion. Steve, take it away.
Thank you, JodyLee. This is Steve Uyeda, and here I am at the Great Tomato Hornworm Invasion. It's great, and there's tomato hornworms, and they're going after your tomatoes. You need to get out there and fend them off however way you can, but more on that at 11. And now let me pass it on to Barry, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the weather.
Thank you, Steve. Barry Weisband here. I gotta tell you, the weather is frightening this weekend, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's just that I get scared when I get outside. But more on that at 11. Over to Beth Ann, who's going to tell us about the raid on the raccoon nests.
Thank you, Barry. This is Beth Ann on site at the Raccoon Nest Hive. Yes, they have their very own hive here, and they are getting wet. I heard that there is a contingency to bring out a bunch of umbrellas, but I have yet to see them yet. We will have film at 11. Now over to Don, and Don's going to tell us about the beach ball contest.
Well, thank you. We're down here actually at the beach. This is Brighton Beach, and we've got an awful lot of people who don't have a whole lot of clothes on. That's the only thing I've really noticed, if you will, about the sport. I know that they're doing something which is really competitive, but really, quite frankly, they should probably wear some more clothes. More on that at 11. Now passing it on to JL, who's going to tell us a story, if you will, about the new food called guaco.
Thank you, Don. Yeah, JL Duek here, and I am on location in the supermarket where they are having taste tests of guaco, and it turns out that it's very much, well, I don't want to spoil the surprise. I mean, I'll tell you at 11 what it really is. In the meantime, wet your whistles, and I want you to go hear from Steve about the cheese shortage.
Thank you, JL. Steve Uyeda here about the cheese shortage. The cows in Michigan and all over the Midwest have gone on strike. So cheese, it's going to come from out of the United States. But more on that at 11. Pass it right on over to Barry, who's going to tell you about the accident of the ball bearing trucks on the I-10.
Thanks, Steve. Barry Weisband here again. Oh my God, it was like it was coming from the sky. The ball bearings just kept hitting the trucks, and the trucks melted. So scary, but more fright at 11. Over to Beth Ann. Beth Ann, talk to us about the strawberry patch that got frozen.
This is Beth Ann Broadhurst. I am at the frozen strawberry patch. We have no idea what happened out here. The most current theories are either space aliens, Tralfamadorians perhaps, or it has a reaction between the ball bearings and all the magic mushrooms floating down the street. We'll have answers for you at 11. Now over to Don, and Don's going to tell us about the latest in fashion.
Don Slovin here. Indeed, actually quite an interesting fashion, considering the last report. It seems that they actually heard me, and so now they're actually wearing clothes here on the beach, and it's all the way up to their neck and all the way down to the bottom. And I did hear someone scream, "Hey, 23 Skidoo," which I don't really know if they sort of... Anyway, more on that at 11. And now, of course, on to JL, who's going to give us a story, if you will, about the way that it's going to be in the future.
I have just been at a conference with a group of scientists and theoreticians and soothsayers and people with crystal balls. And oh my God, the things they said are, you would not believe it. But I don't want to spoil the surprise. I'll tell you a whole lot more at 11. And in the meantime, I'm going to pass it over to Steve, who's going to talk to us about the latest plague of green spots on people's faces. Steve, take it away.
Thank you, JL. Steve Uyeda here. The latest plague of green spots is something that people have never seen before. They say it might be smallpox. They say it might be small green pox. They say it might be green chicken pox. Who knows? It's contagious, but it's not deadly. But more on that at 11. And now passing it over to Barry, who's going to tell us about all the free ice cream that the stores are letting out for this weekend.
I'm telling you, thanks, Steve. Barry Weisband here. The ice cream is fantastic. Everybody grab a cone. Run for your lives. Run for your lives. But more on that at 11. Now over to Beth Ann to talk about the giant orb that just landed in her backyard.
This is Beth Ann Broadhurst in my own backyard. I can't believe it. It's a giant orb. A giant orb just landed here. Fortunately, the film crew was still here after the Strawberry Patch incident. Now we can prove that once and for all, the frozen strawberries might accidentally be related to space aliens. Now over to Don, and Don's going to talk to us about what's next on the weather.
Don Slovin here. It's an interesting, we're here on the weather front where you can see in the western part of the country, it's going to get hot as fricking hell. On the west coast, on the east coast, on the other side, it's going to be freezing, so cold, it's cold as a witch's, more than 11. And we're going to bring this down here to Scotty, who just heard, if you will, interesting headline news. Bezos has now decided he's going to be going to the moon. There is life on moon, and he's going to be opening up an improv theater on moon.
Ah, yes. This just in. Bezos opens improv theater on moon. I already got fired. I don't know how. Those are the stories that we are working on for the 11 o'clock news. But in the meantime, why don't you stick around for more improv on a Friday night?